Hello friends, welcome to my channel Learning All Aspects of Food Safety. So here I've come today with another informative session on allergenic hazards. So we have discussed in our previous some videos about biological hazards, microbiological hazards, physical hazards, chemical hazards, and I'm also providing the links of those videos in the description so you can take a look into that. So in this session, we will be discussing in detail about what are allergenic hazards. Okay, so we know that food allergies are a very serious problem in food industry. So we should know the ways in order to tackle this food allergies, how we can do an effective allergen management in a food industry. Okay, so we can get into the PPT. So food allergies are an increasing problem for the food industry. So we know what is food allergy. What is food allergy? It is a condition which is caused by our immune response to a particular protein in the food. The body will consider that protein in the food as a foreign body and will initiate antibodies against them. And as a result of that, some visible changes we can see in our body such as rashes, difficulty in swallowing, sometimes the eyes becomes red, itching, watery, etc. So that is what is basically meant by food allergy, and it's a very serious life-threatening condition actually. Okay, sometimes it can even lead to the death of the person. So we have to be very careful when we are actually producing a food which has a possible food allergen. We should clearly label that food that this food contains a particular allergen. For example, we have seen in some ingredient labels, we have seen all the ingredients, and we have also have seen at down of that they contain egg, milk, etc. So the ingredients must be clearly listed out. Also, the allergens must be clearly listed out. Okay, that is the one way in order to do an effective allergen management. Okay, so we can see approximately 4% of adults and up to 8% of children experience food allergies. Now, we can see these are the actually the serious issues of this food allergy. It can even lead to anaphylaxis. So what is anaphylaxis? Anaphylaxis is a condition in which the immune system will release a flood of chemicals where the person can go into shock actually. So what are the symptoms that happens is we can see the pulse becomes rapid and also weak, and there can be a skin rashes as you can see in this picture, nausea, vomiting, etc. The blood pressure drops and the airways become narrow, blocking, okay, the breathing. Okay, so this is what is meant by anaphylaxis. So it's actually a life-threatening condition. Peanut and nut allergies are the most common ones, where peanut is actually the most common food allergy, second most common food allergy in children under 18, and 1 to 3% Americans are actually allergenic to peanuts. It's roughly 1 in 50 children and 1 in 100 adults. Okay, so the first exposure to a allergen may not produce any immune response. The subsequent exposure can result in allergenic response. Okay. Now we will see which are the 14 major food allergens. Okay. So this pictorial representation will show you the 14 food allergens. So first one is molluscus, which includes snails, whelks, and squid. Eggs, which can be found in cakes, sauces, and pastries. Then fish, which is found in pizza, dressings, and sauces. Then lupins, it can be again found in bread, pastries, and pasta. Then soya, various beans, including edamame and tofu. So edamame is actually a Japanese dish which is made from soybeans, and tofu is something similar to paneer itself, but it's made from soybean. Then milk again, which is found in butter, cheese, cream, and milk powders which contain milk. Then the next set has peanuts, then gluten, which is actually found in flour, crustaceans, which include crab, lobster, prawns, shrimp, then mustard, which can be in liquid or powder form as well as seeds, then nuts, including cashew, almonds, hazelnut, sesame, which is actually found in toppings of burgers, bread, sticks, and salads, celeries, which include stalks, leaves, seeds, and celeriac, then sulfites, which is found in dry fruits like raisins and some drinks. So this 14 food allergens, you should have a clear idea. Usually asked in food safety exams, okay, which all are the allergens, okay. So these are the 14 food allergens, okay. Now let's get into the symptoms of food allergy. So as I already told you, it affects the brain, eyes, lungs, gut, skin, heart, and mouth. So in brain, it causes headaches and fever. Then eyes becomes red, itchy, watery. Lungs, there will be difficulty in, what we say, breathing, wheezing. Then gut, nausea and vomiting. Then heart palpitations, that is heart will start beating fast. Skin, it produces rashes. Then in mouth, coughing, swelling of tongue. Then in skin, it causes rashes and eczema. Eczema is a condition where the skin becomes dry, itchy, and also bumpy. Okay. So these are the symptoms of food allergies. So a pictorial representation has been shown. Symptoms: stomach pain, rashes, coughing, wheezing, shortness of breath. Then what? Difficulty in swallowing. Then swelling of tongue, weak pulse, and dizziness. Okay, these are the symptoms of food allergy. Now, how we can manage allergens in a food industry? So these all sectors have to effectively contribute for allergen management. So the people means the staff in the food industry should have a clear idea about what all are the possible allergens, how they can prevent this cross contamination during working. Then raw material and supply chain. When we buy the raw materials, we should have a clear idea about what all are the possible allergens in the raw materials which we are purchasing. And we should make our purchase from reputed suppliers. Then manufacturing, premises, equipment and process. So the premises, equipment and process should be thoroughly cleaned, and it should be free from any kind of contaminations. Okay. Then cleaning. This is again told about effective cleaning. That is the work surface where we are preparing the food. It must be cleaned properly. Personal hygiene should be there. Suppose if we are preparing a food which is having an allergen, okay, on a particular work table, we are preparing the food. Then after that, we are preparing a food which does not have any allergens, but we haven't cleaned the surface properly. So what happens? These allergen can come into the food which we are preparing, and this again in turn can cause food allergy in the person who is consuming it. So we have to be very careful that we make sure that the work surfaces where we are preparing the food are cleaned. The hands which we are using for preparing the food are cleaned, because once we are handling a food which is having an allergenic substance, then we are handling another food. There is a chance of cross contamination through our hands or work surface. Okay, so cross contamination should be avoided. Then the next one, new product development and reformulation. Suppose we are actually having a product, then we are making some changes in its ingredient. Sometimes we are substituting it with another ingredient which is having an allergen. This in turn again causes a food allergy in the person who is allergenic to that substance. So when we are making any reformulation or when we are developing any new product, we should clearly state what all are the ingredients which we have changed and what all possible allergens are present. Okay. Then when we are packaging should be intact. If the packaging is not proper, there is chances that the food can spill out from that and it can cross contaminate other substances. Okay. The points which we have discussed now, we will discuss in detail once more. So we can see, use reputable suppliers and branded goods with all ingredients and foods clearly labeled. So we can see here one picture where they have shown the ingredient list, and in the down they have showed it may contain milk, egg, soy and tree nuts, which are allergens. Okay. Then packing should be satisfactory. It should be intact. Then when we are storing the items, it should be segregated storage. Whatever foods which is having allergenic ingredients must be kept away from foods which does not have any allergenic ingredients. And also when we store the food with allergenic ingredients, it is better that we store them in bottom racks so as to avoid any accidental spills. Using specific equipment for preparation. One another method you can do is that if you are preparing a food with allergenic ingredients, you can use a separate equipment for that, or we can keep one equipment for that purpose. Then segregated display. When we display the food also, separate the food which is having allergenic ingredients from those which does not have any allergenic ingredients. Okay. The points which we have discussed itself. Effective communication should be there about all the ingredients that are essential to reduce the risk from allergens. Don't just simply guess. We should have the clear ingredient list. Okay, whatever ingredients which we are using in the recipe, we should have a clear list of that. Then when food is delivered, suppose we have ordered a food and that food is delivered, we should cross check the food that we have ordered is the one which it has been delivered. Okay, because this checks is done in order to ensure that the ingredient information. So when food is delivered, also we conduct checks to ensure that the food matches with the one which has been ordered. Okay, and that different brands do not have any different ingredients. Okay, sometimes when we are ordering a food and they have brought that food, but they have brought the brand which we have not opted. But that brand sometimes may have used an ingredient which actually is a possible food allergen. So we have to check over that. Then checks should also be made and to ensure that the ingredient information is not obscured by any other labels on the food packet. The ingredient should be clearly visible. No other labels, like sometimes one special offer sticker has come on top over that. Okay, so it should not be obscured by any other labels. Again, that packaging should be intact. See, this one is avoiding cross contamination. How we can avoid cross contamination? One is we have to clean the work surface. That is what I have told you earlier. And whatever equipments we are using, that should be cleaned. Okay. Then we have to keep the food separate. The one which is having allergenic ingredient should be kept separate from the one which does not have allergenic ingredient. We should clean hands. Whatever, when we have handled any food which is having allergenic ingredient, we should clean the hands. Then we have to go for preparation of another food. Then the containers which we are using, it should be clean. Okay, we have to properly clean that containers, and then only we should fill the food. Sometimes we have used that container for storing some food with allergenic ingredient. Then if we have not washed it properly and we are filling another food, there is chance of cross contamination. Okay. So this is also same thing only we have told. The products containing allergens should be stored away from other foods, and the products containing allergens should be stored below other foods so as to prevent cross contamination in case of any spillage. Then utensils which we are using should be separate serving utensils, and it should be clearly labeled. Ingredient information should be available, and also the staff should know how to check the ingredients. And if the product becomes contaminated with an allergen, it must be discarded. Okay. And also during preparation also, food handlers should check the ingredient label and should ensure that they follow a recipe. And in case if they are making any substitution, suppose one ingredient they are not having but they are using an ingredient which is similar to that one, but that has a possible allergen, so they should clearly inform it to all other staff including the person who are serving the food. Then this is the thing what I have told you. We have to wash the hands, we have to clean the surface. Then in menu, when you are in hotels or restaurants, if you are giving the menu, there should be actually a clear idea about those foods which are having allergy. It should be clearly, yes, clear menu description identifying the potential allergen should be provided. Okay. And in case if there is any changes in ingredients or recipe, that should also be updated in the menu. And staff also must be instructed and trained about the possible allergens and what all can be done in case if there is a food allergy occurs, what all can be done and what can be done to control that. Okay. Then regular audits and supervision should be done. Okay. Then suppose a customer, he is telling that he is allergenic to a particular thing. So the person who is taking the order should clearly note down that this customer is allergenic to the specific substance. And he should communicate it to the person who is preparing the food. So it is not just the menu item that may contain the allergen. It can be the sauce which is used to decorate that food item may contain that allergen. So if there is any failure in effective communication by the person who has taken the order to the person who is cooking the food, then there is a chances of this food allergy occurring. Okay. So that's what we are telling. Effective communication is required between the staff. Then all staff should also be aware to whatever action they can take in the event if the customer is actually exhibiting the food allergy, that is anaphylaxis. So what can be done? Okay. So that's all about today's session. So thank you for your attention. So I hope it was an informative session and you had great insight into the allergenic hazards and what can be done in order to have an effective allergen management in a food industry. So if you have any doubts or queries, please drop it in the comment box. And once again, thanks for watching, and all of you please subscribe to our channel Learning All Aspects of Food Safety. We will be coming with more informational videos in the upcoming videos. Okay, thank you.